Good evening and a very warm welcome. This is Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Theruni Karunaratna. First, on to your top stories for tonight. Heavy showers hit the Gaha district. Many areas in Colombo also inundated. Showery conditions across the island to reduce. Landslide warnings to 8 districts further extended. President directs officials to provide immediate relief to those affected by adverse weather. Preference numbers of candidates to be released next week. Ajit apologizes for working for Sajid.
මේ සියලු දෙනාගෙන් මම සමාව ඉල්ලනවා. ඒ මැතිවරණයට මම එහෙම ඉදිරිපත් වීම ඒ වෙනුවෙන් ජයග්‍රහණය කිරීමට කටයුතු කිරීම ගැන.
SJB responds.
ඉතින් ඒ පිළිබඳව පක්ෂයේ මහලේකම්තුමාගෙන් හා නායකතුමාගෙන් ඔවුන්ගේ අදහස් විමසන්න වෙනවා.
On to your top story this evening. Many areas across the country were severely affected by the extreme weather. The Gaha district was the most affected by the heavy showers. 60,151 people have been affected in the Gaha district. 35,307 people have been affected in the Colombo district. Meanwhile, the Department of Irrigation announced that the Attanagalu Oya is at a major flood level in Dunamale, and the Kudaganga, which is a branch of the Attanagalu Oya, is at a major flood level in Millakanda. What is the current situation? Gaha continues to be flooded, while the situation is similar in Hangballa as well. The Kaduela interchange of the Southern Expressway has been closed. The railway line from Colombo to Puttalam has been inundated from Lunuvilla to Nathandir due to heavy showers. As a result, train operators are currently limited from Colombo to Lunuvilla. The commander of the army says that the army has been instructed to prepare troops for potential emergencies. In light of rising water levels in the Devanna Oya, the army is actively working to prevent flooding near the Parliament complex by placing sandbags. They are also reinforcing with sandbags the Bomiria Canal embankment and another canal in Kalanimulla, Kohilavatta to further reduce the risk of floods. The Gaha district was affected the most by the heavy rainfall within the past 24 hours.
Gaha district Attanagalu සහ උරුවල්ලෝය කියන ඩ්‍රෝනි දෙකෙහිම
It should be noted that the threat of floods continue in the low-lying areas of both the Attanagalu and the Uruvalloya basins in the Gaha district. I would also like to mention that the current flood conditions may increase slightly, especially in the lower areas. The floods in those areas may increase. If the showers continue, the situation may further intensify.
වර්ධනය වුවහොත් මේ බලපෑම තවදුරටත් වර්ධනය වෙන්න පුළුවන් බව සඳහන් කරන්න කැමැතියි.
The Gaha town was submerged due to the overflowing of the Attanagalu Oya owing to the heavy rainfall earlier today. The Joyala Gaha bus stand was completely submerged. The Joyala road from the Minuangoda roundabout was also flooded and the flow of traffic along the road was disrupted. Meanwhile, the Gaha Kandana road was also inundated in Kirindivita and Makilangamua. Our Newsfirst correspondent reported that many surrounding areas are also flooded. The Biagama-Colombo road was inundated in Pattivilla and the 13th milepost this morning owing to the overflowing of the Kalani River. Houses and shops along the road were also inundated. The Nittambo main road through Katunayaka Hinatiana is submerged in Divulga Sandhya. Our Newsfirst correspondent reported that the flow of traffic along the road has come to a complete standstill. The Avissavella-Colombo Old Road has been flooded along with several other areas in Kalanimulla due to the overflowing of the Kalani River. Our Newsfirst correspondent reported that several houses in the area also remain inundated. The Avissavella-Colombo main road is flooded from Kaduwala, Hewagama and Balivita. Megoda Kolonnava in Kolonnava was also submerged this morning owing to the overflowing of the Kalani River. The Kittampahua, Vivekarama and Velevatta roads in Kolonnava were also inundated. Meanwhile, many areas including Vallampitiya, Kotuvila and Belevatta were flooded due to the overflowing of the Kalani River. Around 300 houses in the area continue to be flooded. The Bulat Sinhala Molkava road has been flooded from Dambala, Atamagas Hamdia and Paragoda due to the overflowing of the Kudaganga after one of the sluice gates of the Kukuleganga reservoir was opened. Our correspondent reported that the flow of traffic in the area has also been disrupted due to this.
Approximately 25 houses in Sitavaka Visavella have been inundated due to the rising water levels of the Sitavaka river. In Nathandiya, about 300 houses in Kottaramulla Tumhodara have been inundated. Around 250 families are being sheltered in the Kottaramulla mosque. The Colombo-Kuliapitiya main road continues to be inundated in Kottaramulla Tumhodara and Nathandiya. Flow of traffic along the road was suspended since this morning. Nathandiya in Puttalam have been inundated due to the overflow of the Hamilton Canal. Our correspondent said that approximately 100 houses are flooded. The Nathandiya-Toppua main road is also submerged in Kottaramulla. The Angunavilla road, where Mundalama Kiriyankalliya is flooded in several areas after the sluice gates of the Siambalakoto reservoir was opened. Approximately 15 houses in Angunavilla were also submerged. The seas were rough along the Gold coastline today. Fishermen did not go out to seas from Ratgamwalla, Kadewalla and Devatawalla fishing ports. Fishermen also did not go out to sea from the Ahangama Katulua fishing port today. Meanwhile, 12 fishing boats at the Ambalangoda Fisheries Harbour have been damaged due to the adverse weather. Secretary to the Ministry of Fisheries, MP N.M. Wickramasinghe, said that the damages caused to the boats is currently being assessed.
The landslide warnings issued for 9 districts are still in effect. Due to the prevailing adverse weather condition in the country, the National Building Research Organisation issued landslide warnings for the Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara, Galle, Kegol, Kurunagala, Nuwara, Ratnapura and Badulla districts.
I request residents of high-risk areas near mountainous regions to exercise caution as those areas experience heavy rainfall these days. Motorists should also be vigilant about possible rockfall, soil erosion and earth slips. It is also very important for owners of small shops located along the edge of roads to relocate to safer areas. Due to the heavy rainfall experienced over the recent days, the soil is now saturated with water. Residents of high-risk areas should be vigilant in this regard. If you notice cracks on the ground or any other signs of a possible landslide, immediately evacuate the area and move to a safer location.
How do we handle any potential disaster situation? This is what the Director General of the Disaster Management Centre had to say.
If you are affected by any disaster situation, please contact the Disaster Management Centre via the telephone number 117. We are actively involved in disaster management through our branch locations across all 25 districts. In addition, the Tri-Forces, police and all relevant authorities will actively engage in rescue operations and relief efforts as required during such situations.
Will the prevailing heavy rains persist?
We expect the rainy weather to continue, especially in the south-western parts of the country. Occasional showers or thunder showers can be expected in the western, Sabaragamuwa, southern, central and northwestern provinces. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces as well as in the Gaul and Mathura districts today. The sea areas of the coast extending from Puttalam to Hambantota via Colombo and Gaul will be rough at times with very strong gusty winds. We advise the naval and fishing communities not to venture into the above seas until further notice.
Sri Lanka decides.
The National Election Commission has announced its intention to release the preference numbers of the candidates contesting the upcoming general election within the next few days.
Chairman of the National Election Commission, RMA Ratnayaka, said that candidate lists submitted by political parties and independent groups to the district returning officers are currently being received in Colombo. Accordingly, those candidate lists will be arranged in alphabetical order and preference numbers will be assigned. The ballot papers allocated for each district are scheduled to be handed over to the government printer this week. Meanwhile, a discussion regarding the expenses each candidate is permitted to spend per voter in the general election is set to take place next Tuesday with the participation of the secretaries from all contesting political parties. A total of 8,352 candidates from 690 political parties and independent groups are contesting this year's general election.
Meanwhile, Ajit Manaperuma, representing the Gampaha district on the Samagi Janabalawege's candidate list, announced that he will not be contesting the upcoming general election.
මොකද හේතුව මම සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස පක්ෂේ නායකයා ගැන දැඩි ලෙස කලකිරිලා කතා කරන්නේ.
What is the reason? I am very disappointed in the leader of our party, Sajith Premadasa. Within 24 hours after signing the nomination papers, Sajith Premadasa handed over my seat and my position as the Gampaha district electoral organizer to someone who did not even work for him but supported Ranil Wickremesinghe in the elections, without my knowledge. I was very disappointed by that move. To date, he has not responded to my calls. As a result, I have decided that I can no longer work for a leader who avoids confrontation and cannot address issues directly. Therefore, I will withdraw from the election even if my name remains on the candidate list. I am deeply shocked that a leader who acts in such a cowardly manner and engages in behind-the-scenes scheming while speaking with a facade of wisdom is attempting to position himself as president. I sincerely apologize to my supporters for my involvement in this process and for initially agreeing to contest.
කම්පා වෙනවා මේ සියලු දෙනාගෙන් මම සමාව ඉල්ලනවා ඒ මැතිවරණයට මම එහෙම ඉදිරිපත් වීම ඒ වෙනුවෙන් ජයග්‍රහණය කිරීමට කටයුතු කිරීම ගැන ඉගෙන ගත්තු අයට සමත් සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්තයා බයයි.
දැන් ඔබතුමා සමගි ජන බලවේගයෙන් එන්න ඕන.
ඔව් සමගි ජන බලවේගයෙන් අයින් වෙනවා.
මේ පක්ෂ සමාජිකත්වයෙන් ඉවත් වෙනවද?
ඉතින් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මට නැහැ වෛරයක්. මට තියෙන්නේ කලකිරීමක්. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස නෙමේ පක්ෂේ පාලනය කරන්නේ. පක්ෂේ පාලනය කරන්නේ සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස සල්ලි දෙන කණ්ඩායමක්. දැන් බස් බෙදන්න සල්ලි කොහෙන්ද? සුහුරු පන්ති කාමර ගෙදන්න සල්ලි කොහෙන්ද? දැන් ගම්පහ ආසනේ රැස්වීම කරන්න පක්ෂෙන් කෝටි 1.5කට වියදම් කළා. ඒ සල්ලි කොහෙන්ද? ඒ කට්ටිය තමයි සජිත්ව හසුරවන්නේ. ඉතින් එහෙමනම් ඉතින් මම නායකයා කියලා විශ්වාස කරන්නේ එක්කෙනා රූකඩයක්. මම තවදුරටත් යන්න බෑ. මෙහෙම බියගුළු නායකයෙක්ව මම ජනාධිපති කරන්න හැදුවා. මම ඒකට සමාව ඉල්ලනවා.
This matter was discussed at a media briefing convened by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya.
සම්මගී ජන බලවේගයේ හිටපු පෙබර මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් තමයි අජිත් මාන්නප් පෙරමුණ.
එයාවිලා ආසන සංගීතය. ඉතින් ඒ පිළිබඳව පක්ෂයේ මහලේකම්තුමාගෙන් හා නායකතුමාගෙන් ඔවුන්ගේ අදහස් විමසන්න වෙනවා. මොකද එතුමාව ආසන සංවිධායක කමින් අයින් කරලා වෙන අපේක්ෂක වෙන එතනට සංවිධායකවරුන්ගේ දැම්මේ මොකක් කාරණාවක්ද කියන එක එතුමන්ලගෙන් අහන්න විමසන්න වෙනවා.
Journalists also inquired why Damita Aberatna did not receive a nomination.
ඇත්තටම දමිතා අබේරත්න ජනාධිපති මැතිවරණයේදී විශාල සේවයක් කරා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාව ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න. ඉතින් ඒ හින්දා තමයි මම හිතන්නේ එතුමියට නාම යෝජනාවල් ලබා දෙන්නත් තීන්දුව කළා තිබුණේ. ඉතින් එතන ඇති වෙච්ච අර්බුදය ගැන මට දැම්ම මොකුත් කියන්න තරම් දෙයක් මම දන්නේ නැහැ. පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් නැහැ. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා එතුමියට ඒ නාම යෝජනා අත්සන් කරලා ඒ නම කපා දැමීම මම හිතන්නේ ඒක පිළිගන්න බෑ. ඒක වැරදි වැඩක්. ඒකට හේතුව මම හිතන්නේ පක්ෂයේ විසින් ඒ පිළිබඳව යම් පරීක්ෂණයක් පවත්වයි එතුමියගේ ඉල්ලීම උඩ.
Why was a decision made to not contest the general election and come to parliament through the national list instead? SLPP national list candidate Gamini Lokuge responded to this question.
මම ඇතුළත ඉදිරිපත් වුණේ නැත්තේ මගේ ශරීරය ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ මැතිවරණට. දැන් 83යි මගේ වයස. එදා වගේ දුවලා පැනලා යන්න බෑ. ඒත් මගේ නම ජාතික ලයිස්ට්ෙන් ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා. වාඩි වෙලා වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතිවරණයකට දුවලා පැනලා වැඩ කරන්න බෑ.
හැබැයි පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ වැඩ පුළුවන්.
A meeting of the members of the Samagi Jana Sandhanaya was held this afternoon in Akurasa and was attended by a group including Valigama SJB organizer Rehan Jayavikrama.
I left my party positions at the Sirikata doorstep and walked out because of Sajid Premadasa. Although I grew as a politician under them, I did not start my political journey where my grandfathers ended. I started my political journey from the Valigama Urban Council. I am a person who stood strong with Sajid Premadasa, leaving behind all of my possessions from the point that the telephone was formed. Therefore, there is no need for me to promote myself here anymore.
මම ඉතින් ආදරණීය අම්මේ තාත්තේ මට තව දුරටත් මාව විකුණන්න ඕන කමක් නැහැ මෙතන.
The Ministry of Public Security has instructed the Acting Inspector General of Police to accelerate investigations into the bond scam, Easter Sunday attacks and other crimes that occurred over the past few years. At a media briefing held this evening, police spokesman DIG Nihal Taldua spoke about the incidents that are under investigation.
මහජන ආරක්ෂක අමාත්‍යාංශය විසින් නියෝග කරනු ලැබුව උපදෙස් ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. වැඩබලන පොලිස්පතිතුමාට විශේෂ විමර්ශන කීපයක් සම්බන්ධව විශේෂ අවධානය යොමු කළා, කඩිනම් කළා, කටයුතු කරන්න කියලා විශේෂයෙන්ම භාණ්ඩාගාර බැඳුම් කර නිකුතුවට අදාළ විමර්ශනය, ඒ වගේම පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයට අදාළව සිදු කරන ලද විමර්ශනය, කඩිනම්ම සහ වැඩිපුර නිලධාරීන් යොදවලා කඩිනම්ම කරන්න කියලා තවත් අඩුපාඩු අයවයි.
The Ministry of Public Security has instructed the Acting Inspector General of Police to accelerate several investigations, especially the bond scam and the Easter Sunday attack. Instructions were given to appoint additional officers and pay more attention to these investigations. The Deputy Inspector General of Police overseeing the Criminal Investigation Division was given instructions to accelerate probe into Dinesh Shafter's suicide and the disappearance of Professor Ravindranath Subramaniam in 2007 while he was working as the Vice-Chancellor of the Eastern University. It has been observed that these investigations have not been conducted properly. The Ministry of Public Security has given instructions to expedite these investigations. Also on the 31st of December 2023, a police officer was killed in a shootout at Valigama. This incident occurred opposite the W15 hotel. Instructions were given to expedite these investigations. Also, Bharati Shivaram, also known as Dharmaratnam Shivaram, had passed away. He had died on the 28th of April 2005 in front of the Bambalapitiya police. It was reported that this individual was kidnapped. Instructions have been received to restart investigations into this incident as well. Lalit Kumara and Kugan Muruganathan, who went missing in Jaffna on the 9th of December 2011. Instructions were received from the ministry to expedite these investigations as well and to report back on the progress made.
විශේෂයෙන්ම ලලිත් කුමාර් සහ කුගන් මුර්ගනාදන් කියන ඒ පුද්ගලයෝ දෙදෙනා සම්බන්ධයෙන්ොත් ඒ විමර්ශන කටයුතු 2011 දෙසැම්බර් මාසයේ 9 වෙනිදා තමයි මේ සිද්ධිය අතුරුදහන් වීමේ සිද්ධිය සිදු බවට වාර්තා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ දෙදෙනා සම්බන්ධවෙනුත් අවශ්‍ය කරන විමර්ශන කටයුතු කඩනම් තවදුරටත් දැනට සිදුවන විමර්ශන කටයුතු කඩනම් කිරීමටත් එහි ප්‍රගතිය ප්‍රමාණවත් නොවන නිසා ඒ ප්‍රගතිය කඩනමින් ඉදිරිපත් කරන ලෙසටත් මහජන ආරක්ෂක අමාත්‍යාංශය මගින් උපදෙස් ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා.
Newsfirst with the people.
It has been announced that prior written permission is now required for the use of photos and messages of the Prime Minister and ministers at functions organised by government institutions. Now, this directive was communicated by Prime Minister's Secretary Pradeep Saputantri to heads of government institutions.
This decision has been made to ensure optimal utilization of public funds and adherence to government policies. To use images and messages of the Prime Minister, written permission must be obtained from the Prime Minister's office. Additionally, permission for the use of ministers' content should be secured from the relevant ministry.
The security booths in front of temple trees were removed this morning.
The road near Temple Trees was reopened to the public on the 4th of October, which is a section from the Colombo-Michael roundabout to Uttarananda Mawatha. Following the reopening, security booths were removed today. The road had been closed since 2005 for security purposes.
Three people have died in a train accident that occurred in Kotukurunda in Kaluthara. A 3-year-old child is among those deceased. They were hit by an express train travelling from Beliatha to Maradana. According to police reports, they were hit while they were standing on the railway track. On to news overseas now. An Air India Express flight heading from Trivandrum to Muscat encountered a technical issue mid-air, prompting an emergency landing. Due to the swift actions of the flight crew, the situation was brought under control, ensuring the safety of everyone on board. An Air India Express flight en route from Trivandrum to Muscat encountered a technical snag mid-air, causing concern among passengers. The aircraft, carrying over 100 passengers, reported an issue with its landing gear while flying over the Arabian Sea. The pilot immediately alerted air traffic control and preparations for an emergency landing were initiated. After several tense minutes, the flight crew successfully brought the plane back to the Trivandrum International Airport, ensuring the safety of all passengers. Emergency services were on standby at the airport and passengers disembarked without any injuries. The airline has launched an investigation to determine the cause of the technical malfunction. Officials praised the pilot's swift response and the crew's professionalism, which played a crucial role in the safe handling of the situation. Passengers were provided with alternate arrangements to continue their journey to Muscat. Authorities have assured that a detailed inquiry will be conducted to prevent similar incidents in the future. A passenger train travelling from Mysore to Darbhanga collided with a stationary goods train in the Thiruvallur district near Chennai. The parcel van of the express train caught fire and 19 passengers are reportedly injured. At least 12 coaches of the passenger train have also derailed. A passenger train travelling at 75 kilometers per hour hit a stationary goods train on Friday in Tamil Nadu at around 8:30 p.m. Railway officials said that the train entered a loop line instead of the main line, following which at least 12 coaches derailed, leaving several passengers injured. A power car also caught fire. Train 12578 Mysuru Darbhanga Bagmati Express collided with a goods train at the Kavaraippattai railway station in the Thiruvallur district near Chennai. The Thiruvallur district collector said that 1,360 passengers were on board. 19 of the passengers are reported to be injured, and of them, 4 suffered severe injuries. They were immediately rushed to a nearby hospital. No casualties have been reported so far. In one of the latest updates from the Middle East, Hezbollah said it launched a salvo of missiles at an Israeli military base today as Israeli troops battled militants in Lebanon and Gaza on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Cities around Israel were quiet with markets closed, flights stopped and public transport halted as observant Jews fasted and prayed on the Day of Atonement. But with the country at war against Hezbollah and Hamas, troops remained engaged in combat on the northern and southern frontiers amid a firestorm of criticism over the wounding of 4 United Nations peacekeepers in Lebanon. Hezbollah, which has lost its leader and a long list of key commanders to Israeli strikes since the start of the war in Lebanon, on Saturday said it struck an army base with missiles to the south city of Haifa. Meanwhile, at least 22 people, including women and children, have been killed in an Israeli attack on the Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza as Israeli forces press on with their ground assault in the area. As the death toll mounted on Saturday, the Israeli military issued evacuation orders for northern Gaza with instructions for residents near Jabalia to evacuate to the south of the enclave. The Israel military launched a deadly offensive in the Jabalia area a week ago, which it claims is aimed at stopping Palestinian group Hamas from regrouping. Provides a platform for talented Sri Lankans to showcase their talents on the global stage. The grand finale of Sri Lankas Got Talent Season 2 is set to get underway tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. at the resplendent Stein Studio Complex in Ratmalana. Rehearsals for the grand finale were held today. Sri Lankan edition of the Got Talent franchise, which is produced by 80 countries across the globe, was produced by Sirasa TV for a second time. SLGT provided a platform for talented Sri Lankans to showcase their talents on a global stage. 6 teams are ready to battle it out, showcasing their marvelous talent, passion and dedication. Sri Lanka's Got Talent, with the aim of taking the Sri Lankan dance culture to a global stage. The team comprises of very talented dancers who are ready to bring a captivating performance to our audience. Our second team is Nipuna with Step Up. Guided by Nipuna, who is a skilled dance instructor, this team hails from down south, Gaul. The Diamond Kick Taekwondo team, which earned a golden buzzer in the judges' audition round, brings so much energy to SLGT Season 2. This team, that includes extremely talented martial artists, hails from Ratnapura. They have even taken part in international martial arts displays. Hailing from Vallavatta, CJ's crew captured the attention of many during their performance at the semi-final. The team, which trains under CJ, who is a veteran Indian dance teacher, displayed much dedication right throughout their journey on Sri Lanka's Got Talent. Ravindra Kumara. He is just 18 years old. He began his training in circus performances at just 15 years of age. Moving past every challenge that comes his way, Ravindra's vision is fixated on the SLGT crown. Our next team is the Amrita Dancing Studio. Hailing from Bandaravilla, this talented team strives to take our Sri Lankan heritage to a global stage. Who will lift the trophy at Sri Lanka's Got Talent Season 2? No matter who emerges victorious, there is no doubt that these contestants possess unparalleled talent. You too can be part of the excitement by joining us tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. on our sister channel, Sirasa TV. And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good night.